Attention crew, it's time to make it so. Reporting for duty are your fearless co-hosts, Crewman PVG, bringing the logic, Crewman Magix, keeping it bold, and Crewman Tommy, ready with the photon torpedo of hot takes. From classic episodes to new frontiers, Klingon phrases to Starfleet trivia, no quadrant is off limits. So grab your tricorder, set your phasers to fun, and prepare for another warp speed ride through the final frontier. This is Technically Trek.
Laying a course, maximum warp.
Aye, Captain.
Engage.
That does play on so many different
Welcome,
things.
everybody. This is the Technically Trek podcast. It's Sunday night, and that means we're live. Welcome, everybody. Before we get started, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and smash that like button. Did you know smash is a 2-syllable word now? In the chat, let's say hi to Chief Scott and Crewman Karen in the chat.
Hey.
Hello, young cadets.
And joining me is the one and only PVG.
I'm Crewman PVG, and I'm raising a glass and 10 forward.
Oh, a moment of silence. And Crewman Magix.
What it do? I put the N in Nebula. See what I did there? I switched it up.
I also switched up my drink. I am drinking a hard Mountain Dew.
What flavor?
It's the pink
Does that look
can.
purple?
Watermelon.
Oh yeah, that one's good.
No, it's real. I
haven't been
forgot.
able to find them.
I have not had one of these in months because we've been doing nothing but Twisteds and Cutwaters. I forgot how good these Mountain Dews are, especially the watermelon. Man, these things
Yeah, that
are
one's
really
good. I haven't been able to find them again since that one rare find at the grocery store.
Yeah.
I even went to Total Wine.
Chief Scott took notice of PVG wearing pants.
I know.
Wait, isn't this the second week in a row?
I know. It's getting cold out.
It's getting cold. It was 85 degrees today.
I'm losing my tan.
Oh, hold on. I got to close some stuff up because you started glitching out there.
Oh, well. We did have a major malfunction last week. I know our episode just died. And by the time, I don't know if I ever figured out what went wrong. But the next day I did come out and I did an unlisted or private stream for like 2 hours and it didn't glitch. So I don't know what it was. Oh, I did do there's a Mac OS version. I don't know what version it is, but they call it Tahoe. So that had been wanting me to do the update. So I did the update to Mac OS, I think 26 or something. So I have Tahoe on here now. I actually uninstalled the Ethernet service and reinstalled it. So we'll see. All this stuff's supposed to be Mac, like superiority. But when it messes up,
Does not seem that way.
when a Mac messes up, it's like hard to troubleshoot because it's supposedly all aware.
It's the AOL of computers.
Yeah.
Just like the iPhone is the AOL of phones. Because I have a friend who's all about the Apple, and yet it breaks, it gets water damage, it gets false water damage indicators. And I'm like, why do you keep buying the same crap that you can't fix yourself? And you can't take it anywhere to fix it. You got to send it to Apple or you got to buy a whole new one. Yet they literally just replaced their old iPhone because it wouldn't charge anymore. Like the most common thing with iPhone stops charging. And I'm like, get an Android. Go get yourself a Samsung. Get a Pixel. You could damn near take those to Walmart and have them fixed.
IB is in the chat. Hello, IB.
From New York City.
Oh, and Karen's given the IT advice that Magix normally gives.
Oh yeah, what was that?
Reboot.
Oh, thickums. Sorry. So in the process of realizing closing Windows, I had 3 sessions of Chrome going with like 30 windows each of Star Trek information. Because like when I watch one video, there's a bunch of shorts, and I'll open in a new tab, if it's interesting. And apparently I had a bunch, and this one just came up to a thickums. I was like, I got a little bit distracted there.
You know, what we should have done is I should have centered your camera, PVG.
I wasn't gonna say nothing.
There you go, gangster lean.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was doing. I need to actually go to their actual channel and see what's the what.
Yeah, so it's what was I was thinking a thought, and then there was an interruption, but we're gonna talk about what we watched, our homework,
Or didn't watch.
and what we listened to. As you can tell by the thumbnail, we'll talk about Star Trek Con. Has this inspired anybody to want to go back and watch
Wrath of Khan.
all the Con? Like there was
And the original.
yeah, there was what was it called? Like Space Seeds. There was one episode of TOS.
Yeah. Hold on, I got it.
But I guess these things happen in between, right? So first there's Space Seeds,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then it's the Con audio series that is happening now, and then it goes into Wrath of Khan. So
What
it's
happened in
supposed to
between?
show why he gets so mad. But I honestly think he was already mad. I think this is one of those things where they try to take a bad guy and try to shine this positive light on him.
I don't think it's him going mad, if that's what you mean. I don't think he ever went mad. I think he very much was Thanos.
Yeah.
He was their OG version of Thanos or Magneto. Like he just had an end goal. Or an Ultron. He saw what would make the world better. No one was willing to make those changes or make those sacrifices because it was immoral. And he's like, yeah, fuck that. We're better than you. You made us better than you. You made us to make these decisions. This is what it's going to take. And you're too weak-minded and weak-willed to do it any better. So I'm going to do it. And I don't think that means he's mad.
Yeah.
PVG's about to have the lemon tea buzzball.
Good luck, sir.
The tone of the show will now change.
It's so tiny. It's so tiny.
Yeah. So
Welcome to the Technically Unsound
when's the last time you
podcast.
did one of those?
I'll let you know.
Well, let's do a quick recap of Con up to this point. Like, go back for anybody who hasn't listened to Con. It is available on YouTube on the Star Trek channel. Give us a quick review of first sip reaction.
It's different. I can taste the alcohol.
You can taste the alcohol.
Yeah,
can you
it's,
taste the tea?
A little bit. It's a little thick.
Thick with alcohol?
Yeah. Taste the lemon.
There you go. See? It's all good.
I'm going to put it down right now.
Carefully.
Ow.
Carefully. You're close to that stream deck.
It's a little.
Don't splash on that stream deck. All right. So Star Trek Con is.
Let me finish what I was saying.
Oh, yeah.
I think the purpose of the show is to, honestly, I really like, it's filling in a gap that everyone questioned, but nobody knew. And without having to pay millions of dollars in production, they're able to tell what happened to Khan between Space Seed and the Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
That was something that everyone wanted to know, what happened during that time period. Like, he was gone. All right, that's sad for him. Bye, Ricardo Montalban. Maybe he went to Fantasy Island, but then no one ever knew. So this is one of those awesome stories. Kind of like how I was talking about. We need fill in the gap stories, not retelling of the same shit over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, at the end of Space Seed, well, there is a backstory, right? So Khan is he's an augmented human being. So he's got special enhanced abilities basically at every level.
He's
Strength, endurance, intelligence. Everything about these people is enhanced, and they're better in every way. But what's also enhanced is their nature of dominance. I guess that was something the scientists didn't anticipate. And they had no fix for this, which is why the program had to end. Like, they had no way to taper down the aggressiveness just because these people were so dominant and they knew it. You know, they knew that they were better in every way. And they just said, we can't make any more of these people. We can't enhance anybody else. Otherwise, we're going down a very dark path. And so
I think they did know that, though. I think they were bred that way because they were bred for war. They were built to go into war to be foot soldiers. And to be a foot soldier, you need to enhance their aggression. I think wholeheartedly, Starfleet knew exactly what they were doing. It's literally like Universal Soldier. But then once the war was done, they didn't know how to taper them off or how to calm them down.
yeah, there's no off switch.
Right.
Yeah,
so they, cryogenically froze them. Well, no, they didn't. They did that after Space Seed. But even in Space Seed, Khan was like, okay, y'all don't want us anymore. You don't want us in your society. You don't want us to help your society. We want to go to our own place and build our own society. Just give us a little bit of supplies. You owe us that, and let us be on our way. And that's when he interacts with Kirk and tries to take the Enterprise. They literally are carjacking the Enterprise to go away from civilization.
Yeah.
So in a sense, this is all Kirk's fault. Again, fuck Kirk. No, my bad. Fuck Shatner. Because it was Shatner's Kirk that did that.
Yeah, so so Khan tries to take over the Enterprise. If I remember correctly, because I haven't watched that TOS episode in a while, they find that Botany Bay floating, right? The SS Botany Bay.
Yep.
And they bring over, the survivors. And Khan then tries to take over the ship. And he, what do you call it? The girl, right? The historian or she
That's
falls
the reason
in love.
why I want to go back and watch that, because she apparently volunteered to go with him.
Right.
My God,
and I'm like, I don't remember this chick. I remember a chick on the TOS episode was all moist over him, but I don't know if that was the same one.
That was her.
That's her. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so she's the girl that's doing all the recordings in the Khan audio series.
Holy shit. I was gonna say Marla, but then I got the Marla that I know mixed up with this one. And now that Ivy posted it in the chat, names are very similar to the Marla that we know.
Yeah. Yeah, so Kirk somehow
Fucked it up.
Powers Khan and his crew and says, all right, we're going to take you to SETI Alpha 5 and we'll get you started. We'll give you a year's supply of stuff, And in the first couple episodes, at least the first episode for sure, I mean, it sounds like a paradise almost.
Yeah.
You know, they're very happy. They're
It was a lot like Earth,
yeah.
they said. Not exactly, but similar, very, very similar to Earth.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you this, though. Come episode 2, definitely once episode 3 hits,
Yeah.
there's a Section 31 tie-in here that I think is very prevalent. And we just mentioned why I think that is true.
So in episode
Because you
1,
can't taper it down.
in episode 1, they paint Khan as this kind of noble
King.
leader. You know, he stops them from bullying a kid, you know, who's not an augment kid. He's just a normal kid, I think.
No, he's a half-breed.
Oh, he's a okay, he's a half breed. Maybe his dad's an augment and his mom's not or something. But the other kids are bullying him, and Khan steps in and says, "No, I'm going to give you my knife of honor," or whatever he gives him. And he says, "No one's ever going to say anything bad about you again, or they'll have to deal with me." You know, so all that sounds good. It's, you know, oh man, this Khan, he's all right. Khan's an okay guy. He's not so bad. He's stopping the bullying. But then episode 2 starts to get a little dark. When you hear, well, first of all, there's a guy, I forgot his name, Ivan or something, but he gets upset with another dude and says Khan was too soft on him. And he takes matters into his own hands. I think he throws the guy off a cliff or something. I can't tell what he did.
Oh, yeah.
But they don't know for sure. They think, oh, he might have taken his own life.
Yeah.
No, they think he just fell.
Oh, right.
Or he could have fell.
Thought it was an accident.
It's because they had already experienced some minor quakes and saw the meteor shower. That's why I said that's kind of number one. And then they were like, oh, well, maybe he was up exploring and he slipped and fell during one of these little minor quakes that we had.
Yep.
But alas, we all know that motherfucker got pushed. Pushed in the bush.
And so, and also this same guy who pushed him, he kind of mad dogs Marla. Khan's, I guess people say his woman, the historian.
Yeah, because he was smashing her out on the Enterprise.
Yeah.
And then she volunteered to come along with him.
Right.
As a historian.
The augment D, I guess. And so.
And they're like, oh, yeah, you're lucky you're Khan's woman, or we would have had you killed by now.
Yeah. And so he kind of, he's also kind of threatening her, or just basically trying to scare her down. So there's definitely some conflict starting to brew. And Khan catches her with a communicator or something.
Yes.
And then he's upset because he thinks, like, okay.
You're spying on me for Kirk.
Right. Which, what was she doing?
She used it to communicate because she noticed all the astrological things happening and the minor quakes. And she's like, maybe I should check in because this don't seem right. But she gets caught and Khan destroys the communicator. So now she can't communicate at all.
I thought it was also because that all the other women were sterile, and she was the only fertile one.
There was that as well, because she was like, you sent me here to be your brood.
Yeah.
And she thought, well, but that was Khan's doing. But
well, they weren't sterile, but they were having problems getting pregnant. And so she started thinking, oh, you know what? You brought me as plan B.
Right. So there's several. Her main reason, though, for grabbing that communicator then was one, as she told Khan, it was in case of severe emergency or we need to get rescued, I can communicate. Like if this planet breaks apart due to a volcanic eruption, we need to get off the planet.
Yep.
But this is where I think the Section 31 came in. I think Starfleet picked that planet because they knew that system was failing as it was. And that's an easy way, a clean way to get rid of the augments that you couldn't get rid of and you couldn't retain, I guess.
Yeah, Karen said that the augment women were, I guess, they were sterile. They had to have the eggs planted in them.
Right, the in vitro.
Yeah.
But I think Section 31 picked that planet because they knew that planet was very likely going to get destroyed when the other one, when that system started to collapse. That way, Starfleet had a way of wiping it out as, oh, well, we didn't know. How do we know that the other planet was going to go supernova, that the star was going to go supernova and destroy these planets? And unfortunately, SETI Alpha 5 was in range. We didn't know that. We didn't know that we were going to launch the Genesis system and all that other shit, but they did. That's why I think Section 31 is running Starfleet all along, and we just didn't know it.
Damn. Maybe they weren't called Section 31 back then.
They were probably called something else. They had to be, because they were Section 31 in Enterprise. When Reed got...
No, I thought they were some other clandestine thing. Were they actually called Section 31 in Enterprise? I thought they had a different name.
I guess technically we need to find out the time frame of the Section 31 movie. When does that take place in the Starfleet?
I thought it
canon?
Took place in like 3000.
Is that future? Or I don't know.
I think it's in the future. I think it's Discovery Future timeline.
So 900 years past everything else?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes, the same. Right. Like IB says, it was the same planet from Enterprise episode Twilight when he had that future dream or whatever it was where Hot T'Pol was taking care of him as he was having dementia or something.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one. Where T'Pol finally let her hair down.
Yes, in a normal non-mirror universe.
Which case, I did wonder, did they ever smash in that timeline?
No, because he had dementia, I think.
I don't mean shit.
Yeah,
that don't mean nothing to her. That's just like, hey, I've never felt this way about you before.
She's like, hey, let's do this back massage, and it'll make your dementia better.
That's all it takes.
Right, exactly. And then the next day, she's like, hey, I've never done this before, but I think maybe this may help you. And she just,
she goes,
what is that movie with Bill Murray?
Crew.
Groundhog?
Yeah, she Groundhog Days him every day.
Yeah.
Just so she can get the Archer D.
Oh, Chief Scott says dementia never stopped PVG.
And he knows.
Well, good thing he has a T'Pol in his life that feels sorry for him.
Everyone has partaken today, so I will.
Oh, what's this thing? What is that? Red Stag?
This is my stag. Okay.
I'm about to hit the lemon tea.
Have you had that before?
No. I've had buzzballs before.
For everyone wondering, Jim Beam Red Stag, hopefully a future sponsor of the show.
If you're watching us live, pour yourself something. Oh, wow. You're not even going to pour it.
Wow.
No, I take one shot to the head.
Pour it in your mouth.
Then I make my mixed drink.
Now I am going to do the lemon tea buzzball from New Baden Liquor, by the way. That's where I go to buy my lottery tickets. You know, I got a new philosophy on lottery tickets. I'm not doing the power play anymore or the extra stuff. I'd rather be able to pick more numbers. You know, because like if you do the power play, let's say you spend $3 on a lottery ticket. To do the power play, it's like another $1. That way, if you hit the $1 billion, you get you get the money. Well, you minus taxes and whatever. But if you don't do the power play, you don't get the whole billion. It's some weird thing. I don't know how that all works, but I've decided I'm not buying any more power plays. I'm just buying more numbers. If I'm going to spend more money, I want more numbers.
I don't play anymore. I won.
I don't play.
I won the lottery one time, and my friends wouldn't leave me alone. You know, I said, please respect my privacy and everything. But we went through that $36 really quick.
Oh, this is
Lemony?
It's a little different.
It is. There's no twisted tea.
Come on now, what's your score? Update the list.
Wow. Okay. You're still drinking yours? Wow. Okay.
No, what? Give us an first impression number.
I'm gonna give it a 5. 5 out of 10. It's not something I would do again. I don't.
Now, would you be more inclined if you like cut that in half with Sprite?
No, you know what I would rather do is just drink a Twisted Tea Extreme.
Yeah.
Twisted Tea Extreme tastes a lot better. I think it actually tastes better than a regular Twisted Tea.
With lemon.
Yeah, because the Twisted Tea Extreme has lemon. Those are good, and that's 8%. This Buzzball is 15%. I mean, it's packing a punch. But it's not, it's hard to swallow. I don't even know if I'm going to finish it. I don't think I'm going to drink it.
What?
Set it aside. I'll drink Twisted Tea. It was a social experiment. Okay. Con Audio episode 3. Now we kind of get into
definitely
dark.
Confirmed my Section 31 theory when we got to episode 3.
And so there's a kid that the artist, right? The artist has like a little some kind of weird behavioral attack that he goes through. And Khan, I don't know, doesn't he start acting crazy and Khan has to save him?
Dude, he gets the worm.
No, I know, but nobody knows that at the time.
He gets the checkoff thing.
Yeah.
He gets the
Yeah, but they don't know that he's
they don't know that's what we know that's what it is, but they don't know.
Okay.
They don't know what it is. Yeah. So they just think he's kind of lost his mind, his behavior's changed.
Right.
And so Khan supposedly like runs 3 days and 3 nights nonstop carrying this dude on his back or something until he brings him back to home base where I think does he die or do they have to kill him?
No.
They sedate him.
Okay.
And he calms down. And then the chick that was all moist
that's right.
Was
his
like,
boo.
no, but can I see him? Can I have a moment?
And then he goes,
and they were like, yeah, we don't think so. We don't know what's wrong. It'll just be for a moment. And then she wakes his ass up like a dumbass. And the dude goes off and kills her. Like, bitch, why? There's nothing you need to say right now that's going to help. Why? Yeah. Just why? Right. Why?
Yeah.
If you just sat your ass down somewhere and let the wannabe medics who are smarter than you do what they need to do, maybe.
But they don't really have medics,
be alive.
Right?
I think it was just Marla with her.
No,
she's not even a medic.
Yeah. The chick that knows how to work the equipment. Was an augment. She was like a military medic. She just had more experience with shit like that. So. And she was stronger than the other girl because those kids were like teenagers. And the chick that was the 2 girls that were the 2 women that were in there were the ones trying to conceive. And so the teenage girl was like, oh, just give me some space. I just want to talk to him. And she left, and I was like, man, you should have just shut the fuck up and waited for them to do their thing. There were 2 against 1. Nobody would have died except for maybe him. And now your ass has got your skull crushed in like Oberon from Game of Thrones.
Yeah. And then, of course, Khan had to come in and do the needful.
Yeah.
Shut up.
That medic said the only way we can find out is through an autopsy. And Khan says, no. And he pretty much did it himself. I mean, offed him.
So did the thing come crawling out at that point or no? I don't think.
I think
it just kind of ends with a snapping of the neck, and then
that's the end.
So
of the
they walk in, and he gives his whole "never again, planet. You're coming after me, planet. You will not get any more." I'm
right. He goes crazy.
You're talking to the planet, like motherfucker. It's the planet. You're supposed to be smart. Like, why are you talking to dirt?
Yeah. Talking to dirt.
But this is definitely that episode definitely solidified my theory that this was all Starfleet intended all these things to happen for the planet to kill off the augments as it was, because Starfleet themselves don't send their own personnel to planets like this for survey missions.
But
other than flying over,
who planted that idea? Who gave Kirk the idea to take him to SETI Alpha 5?
I don't think Kirk didn't have. Kirk said we can settle them somewhere else.
Yeah.
Kirk didn't say settle them to SETI Alpha 5. Starfleet said, okay, we like your plan. Let's give them SETI Alpha 5.
All right.
We're going to launch the Genesis planet, SETI Alpha 6. When that motherfucker explodes, the debris will take out SETI Alpha 5. And oops, it's an unfortunate event. 2 problems solved all at once.
I'm going to have to watch that again.
What are you going to have to watch?
The original series.
Space Seed?
Space Seed.
Yeah. I think I need to watch it. That is
one episode that's hard for me to get through is Space Seed. Because there's a lot of speeches in that. And I'm like, you're putting me to sleep.
A lot of dialogue.
Yes. And there's a lot of scenes where that have no dialogue and no action, just music. And that's like, oh, lullabies of the Enterprise making beep, boop, boop noises and doors opening and dramatic music and no one's talking. So I don't have to watch it. Let me close my eyes just for like this 30 seconds and then 2 hours later, damn it, I got to go back and watch 6 more episodes that already played.
Do you ever question the writing of painting this picture that Khan is this unstoppable, augmented being, yet, Kirk outsmarts him? Like, shouldn't he?
I don't remember how Kirk outsmarts him. That's the thing. I really don't remember how.
But he must. I don't remember the details. I think.
Did he? Or did Khan just say this is pointless? Or was it? Because I don't remember if Kirk woke all of them up, or if he only woke up a certain amount. Because
Karen.
Ironically,
Karen's got the details, the deets, as the kids say.
Marlon lets him out. Okay, so the question is this: so, if it's like the movie where Kirk says, "If you don't stop, I'm blowing up your other 75 people," then Khan would have let himself be caught. Khan was willing to sacrifice everything for his people. So technically, all Kirk had to do was threaten to kill everybody else while they're in cryo sleep.
Yeah.
So that's the only way I could see Shatner's Kirk doing that. But I would have to go back and watch Space Seed to find out how Kirk did it in the TOS series.
Yeah, I might have to peep that out. What do you think these audiobooks are going to be kind of a thing now?
I hope so.
Me too.
Because if we don't get a series,
what would you what would you like next?
The series that I was telling you about before on our past show, was what happened after the end of Enterprise, before Starfleet, the formation of Starfleet, the formation.
But that might actually be a show. That might be the President Archer show.
World War III.
The World War III show, yeah. All these things that, I think a lot of fans want.
That might be hard to just be audio.
Yeah.
I don't think you can, dude. So here's the biggest thing with this podcast has done for me. It reminded me that there are so many other audio drama podcasts out there. So I was listening to this on YouTube, but then I can't close my phone and still play it because as soon as the screen goes off, the audio stops. So I launched it in Spotify, and I realized that I still had my other audio drama shows on there, like the 2 We're Alive zombie ones, The Truth, and a couple of others. And I'm like, man, I totally forgot these other audio dramas. And that before there was like maybe 10 good ones. Now there's like 50, 60 good ones that are out there that are high-end productions. Kind of like the one that I showed you on Facebook today, the Section 31. And this is why I asked, I need to find out what timeline that is, because it says it's talking about a Rachel Garrett. But if you're saying it's 900 years in the future of Discovery, how is Rachel Garrett, who was Enterprise C captain? How is that?
No, it's not a. Wait, it's just a recap.
Oh, I thought it was like an audio drama.
No. It's not an audio drama. It's just a recap.
That would be a great audio drama. Section 31, going in how that came about. I think someone mentioned in here in the chat that Section 31 became Section 31 before Starfleet was even built. And that kind of ties in with my theory of that Section 31 created Starfleet so they could have a Manchurian candidate to control the masses and influence all these other planets. And if you look at it, that's kind of what's happened this entire time. And if you look at
Karen's saying, wait, what's not 900 years in the future, the Section 31 movie?
So, Karen, there is a podcast called Wolf 359. Look it up. That tells you what happens up until the first contact with the Borg. It is awesome. So Karen says it was not 900 years in the future. Yeah, all these things like the Romulan War, World War III, the Wolf 359, which they already did one. That's awesome. What happened at the Wolf 359 before the Enterprise got there? The first ships that got there. I mean, we kind of already know y'all got your asses whooped, but there's other shows that we could do that are audio drama based that don't take as much money or take as much approval to get done like a full-on show like Starfleet Academy. You don't need a VFX crew. You need good soundscapes, which literally most of the time is a couple of people in a studio or in a home studio, even at that. The guy that did Wolf 359 did that from a home studio. Same thing with the We're Alive podcast, and those are zombies. Those are all literally, kind of like how the old Cakewalk was. You play the audio, you put in your sound effects, you adjust it, you add background music, and you lay it out like an 8-track.
What about Zephyrin Cochrane looking for something to use as the warp ship? Like trying to find...
I think that was kind of obvious, though. I mean, I wouldn't have thought about that. There's nothing really to look for. We have these Titan missile silos that are still sitting here. Ain't doing nothing about them. There are Titan missile silos right now that are being sold off by the U.S. government into compounds and housing facilities. They're literally disassembling the missiles and are building the silos like the TV show Silo. But they're from single-family homes.
IB says Reed's buddy in the black uniform was ruthless and secretive. Oh, a ruthless and secretive section of Starfleet. But they didn't technically have a name from like what they... Enterprise didn't reveal that they were called Section 31. They were just a ruthless and secretive section of Starfleet.
And like I said, that could have been Section 31. So if they started Starfleet, I mean, there's a whole lot of... Like, I know you don't like prequels because you're limited. But some of these prequels fill in the gap and complete the story. Because otherwise, like if they said right now, no more prequels ever, you're never going to know how did Starfleet come about other than what you saw in Archer. How did World War III get started? How did it stop? What happened 2 weeks after the Vulcans made first contact? You know, how was the Warp 2 and 3 and 4 engines develop? Where did the flying cars and transports go? How did we get rid of money for the most part? How do we end the world wars and world hungers? How do we make
replicators for everybody?
Replicators. How did we make the replicators?
Right, that would be an interesting show. The invention of the replicator, like one episode.
Star Trek. You know what? Star Trek Mythbusters.
They could just do one episode for the invention of the replicator, one episode for the invention of the transporter. Like they could just do like, what did they used to do? These things called Star Trek shorts. They could do audio shorts where they just do an audio story, one episode. Just tell us how, the replicator came to be.
I think that's going a little too short.
But there's a lot we want to cover. Like there's a lot we want to cover. There's this thing that happened with The Walking Dead after The Walking Dead had all these stories that they wanted to tell, but they didn't want to do a bunch of spin-offs. So they created this show where they told us every episode was a different person's story, but it was over. Like they had one episode and that was their story. The next episode,
an anthology.
Yeah, the next episode would be a whole different person's story. And so I think that's what they need to do in Star Trek, sort of, is tell a story, at least give us some, what do they call it? Crumbs, right? Give us some crumbs about what happened here.
How was transparent aluminum really made?
I would say okay with that if you were not limited to an hour episode. If you could do like 120, I'd be okay with that. Because the problem that you're going to run into is there's going to be a lot of the story that they're just going to cut out that Star Trek fans are going to want to hear.
Well, that's just... There's this old saying, what's better, an hour or 0 minutes?
That wouldn't apply here because, again...
Well, if they're either not going to tell the story at all, or they might tell it what they can in 60 minutes. What would you take the 60?
Here's the problem with that theory is what you're asking is for Paramount to put this in production.
Yes.
The problem is Paramount has had decades to be able to do this, and they didn't.
But now they got new ownership.
Right.
Skydance.
Get Dick All, shit or get off the pot, and you didn't shit.
Well, they just signed the contract like a month ago. They just bought Paramount.
There's official Star Trek books. There's official Star Trek comics. You could have done an audio book, and there's audio books out there, but a podcast drama, the serialized drama, you had the ability to do that for over 10 years. Hell, over 20 years.
How many views are these? Is this successful? How many views are episodes 1, 2, and 3 of Khan getting? Because if they're not getting enough views, they might not think it's successful.
That's on YouTube. Not everything is not about YouTube.
Right, but what I'm saying is if you expect a company to produce more of a good, they've got to be able to, that good has to have some results.
That's what I'm getting at is the kind of what you said. Would you have 0 or none, or would you have 1 or 0? It doesn't matter at this point because they didn't take advantage of it when they had the opportunity and the fans did it.
Right.
How do you think Wolf 359 got their own podcast that ran for years?
Yeah, but that's not sanctioned. That's not canon. It's canon. It is. Why not?
It's not canon.
It's not canon.
Because it got, 'cause 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 it got, 'c
It's not made by Paramount.
Everything that's made by neither is a comic book.
Right. That's
neither
not
are the
canon.
audiobooks.
That's not canon.
Those are canon. Those are canon.
The audiobook, this Khan audiobook is canon.
That's because Paramount made it, but Paramount does not own all of the IP of Star Trek.
They do. And they actually do.
Paramount, hold on. Paramount did not own all the IP of Star Trek before they had it. That's what I'm saying is there are fans, just like Star Wars, there were books and shit made by the fans that got rolled into canon. What I'm saying is, hey, if Paramount doesn't want to spend the money to do it because they got a bunch of idiots at the desk, hey, that's okay. The fans have already done it. We're just saying, you know what? We get a little bit more production value if it's backed by Paramount. We get a little bit more star power where we can get actual George Takei or Tim Russ or anyone else in there. You actually get the star power behind that. But if not, that's okay because they've been doing it for years without them.
Well, I mean, the story's got to be good.
I'm saying you could do an audiobook movie, like an hour and 45 minutes, and flesh out an entire story. Otherwise, you're basically saying, hey, yeah, the Klingons got a disease. So originally they had ridges, then they didn't. And now they're back to ridges after years because they got a disease, doing some stuff. And then that's it. But you never know, where did that disease come from? Oh, it happened because they were trying to deal with the augments and Archer, and they were trying to do this and that. You don't hear any of that because some pencil pusher said, yeah, nobody cares about that. It's the same thing that we're having now with the TV shows.
Well, it's the same thing. We're about to have a Muppet episode. Do you think anybody wants to see a Muppet episode?
No, because some pencil pusher said, hey, that'll be cute. My kid would like that.
Yeah.
You don't have the fans making the episodes. You as a fan are relying on a non-fan to appease you.
Oh, Crewman Karen wants to see the Muppet episode.
I'm looking at Star Trek Con. The first episode got 90,000 views.
Ew.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Damn, that ain't good.
On what? Episode, on YouTube, right?
Right.
Well, that's it.
The second episode
right. That's just on
got
YouTube.
15,000 views. And was 13 days ago. Now look it up
on Apple.
And then the third episode, which was only 6 days ago, had 9.4 thousand views.
Now look it up on Apple and on Spotify and on all the other platforms that are better suited for podcasts than fucking YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is, like IB's saying, is it's not fans that are making the shows.
Exactly. And that's why I said I would rather have nothing and let you and PVG come up with your own audio drama locally there and record it and multi-track it. Even if it took you a year to do one episode, I'd rather have that than Paramount put out a shitty podcast talking about, oh, this is for the fans, and have absolutely nothing of relevant content put out. So yes, I'd rather have zero.
Yeah, but I mean, you're saying, okay, so we're happy with Khan.
I'm happy with Khan.
Okay, well that's from Paramount.
Your series idea, anthology, would be great if you're not limited on time. It could be a 30-minute episode. It could be an hour and a half episode. It could be 2 episodes or 3. I'm okay with that. I'm saying don't put a limit on how to tell a story that you're filling in the gap for that has never been told before.
Yeah. I mean, I could be down with that.
I wonder who greenlit this episode or Khan.
I'm okay with that.
Mohinder.
I mean, think about it. The average audiobook is like 16 hours long. That's just one book.
That's why I never listened to one.
I'm wondering who greenlit the Khan podcast. Was it the new owners or the last old owners?
Probably the old, because this was already done.
And how long did it take, from thought to actual?
I know there was some news about it a few months ago. I don't know when they actually started production on it. I remember hearing about it thinking, oh man, that's going to suck. I was not enthusiastic about it at all. I didn't think they were going to do a good job.
What about this podcast?
Con, yeah.
I think with podcasts, it come out a lot quicker than movies or series because of all the computer work, CGI.
Because you don't have to do anything. Yeah, right. CGI, visual effects, all that shit.
And pretty soon they'll be able to just AI everyone's voices. They're probably already AIing the voices.
Oh, yeah. That we don't know about? Sure.
I mean, even DaVinci Resolve can AI voices. 11 Labs can AI voices. You just have somebody read like a paragraph, and that paragraph, they can construct every like English word possible. Fashion designers used to go out into the hood to get fashion ideas from teenagers. Yeah. No, I mean, if you're going to have people writing stories about Star Trek, they need to be fans and have some, I don't know, passion about it.
And be in touch
and
with
as
real
a catch
people.
To that, I am in total agreement, but you got to ask fans, not just fanatics. I'm talking about, we joke about we're just regular people that like Star Trek. We're not fanatics. Well, I'm not a fanatic. I'm not going to a Comic-Con in cosplay. But a lot of the times if you ever watch a Star Trek documentary, they only interview fanatics. Whatever, TVT, yeah. I mean, he's a cosplayer. That's great. But I'm saying they only ever interview the complete fanatic, not the average Joe that watches it religiously. But they're not a fanatic.
That's why sometimes I question: are we too hard on the new Star Trek? Like, are we a little too critical because we're comparing it to past?
Right. I think I come to realize that I am.
But you have to admit there was some bad episodes of Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, there's bad episodes of the original series.
Yeah, but here's the argument is the original series had like 25 episodes a season.
Yeah,
News Trek only is doing 10. You can't afford like in TNG, DS9, Voyager, TOS. You could have throwaway episodes that were just funny, like these episodes where it's like they're going to Ferenginar to go hang out with Quark's mom. That to me, that's
3-day weekend.
Yeah, those episodes. Yeah, those are just. Or Cisco and Jake are gonna fly they're gonna build their own ship with sails. Like that's the kind of stuff. To me, that's kind of a throwaway episode. They can be good,
right?
But
it doesn't have to be serious all the time. Like, oh, it's dead serious 24 hours a day.
Yeah, but put people to sleep,
It gives you a break. It gives you a lull. It gives you a bathroom break, so to speak, where you can be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to, kids, you can come play in here this episode. I'm watching it. Don't jump on me, but, I'm not telling you to shut the fuck up and get the hell out of the room. Because something serious is going on. I'm going to hear all the dialect. These are fun, throwaway, lighthearted episodes.
Yeah.
But when you have a 10 episode
you got 10 to work with.
Well, I wonder why that
you're trying to tell a story.
You can't have 5 throwaways.
Yeah. It makes no sense. Unless, of course, you're a non-Star Trek fan and you just don't know what the fuck to produce. So you go to every other type of show that was kind of good and you put it out there. Like a musical episode.
Yeah.
Hey, they had one in Buffy. They had one in this show and on that show. And all the young kids liked it. Oh, let's do that. Oh, they had a Muppet episode in Angel and they had a Muppet episode in Buffy. Those are by Joss Whedon. All the kids like Joss Whedon. Let's do that.
Right.
Now.
Yeah, you can... When you have 26 episodes to work with, in a way, it's actually welcomed, right? To take a break, like you're just gonna focus on this person's personal life for an episode. You're gonna see why Odo acts weird around Loxana or something.
I think they were good and bad. They were good because, like it said in the chat, and like we've said, it gives you a break. But it was bad because the writer still had to write it. The actor still had to shoot it.
Yeah.
You didn't get to put as much time and thought behind it because you still had to rush out another 20 some odd episodes or 15 other episodes, and time didn't stop. You still had to rush it out. Whereas with this episode, with this series, being 10 episodes in, you get more thought and time put behind it and make it really good. But then when you put out a bullshit episode, and I'm a fan, and I'm paying $20 a month for Paramount Plus, just so I can watch Star Trek, and you wasted my time on 1 week an episode, 1/10, or is it 1/10? Yeah, 1/10
10%
of a show. That's fucking, or 10% of the show. And then you do another one. Now it's 20, 30. I'm paying $20 a month and I only get 50% of the Star Trek that I want to watch because you put out some bullshit.
I mean, let's recap season 3. I did like episode 1 of season 3. Like they had to, the Gorn, right? They had to finish off with the Gorn.
Hold on, let me get to it so I'm a visual learner.
Yeah.
I got to be able to see
season 3, episode 1 was basically the second half of the hegemony or whatever they called it.
Hegemony, maybe.
Then
they dealt with the Gorn.
Then episode 2, you get into the wedding.
I gave that one a kind of a half because that answered a couple of questions.
The Q situation.
Right.
It confirmed that Trelane is part of the Q and that it's possibly Q's child. So that's kind of dope because we talked about that when we were watching the original series. That, is he possibly Q? Episode 3 was a shuttle with the zombies getting the plant.
I didn't like that one.
That one definitely could have been better, but I could see how it built up to the end. So it needed to be, you needed something in there.
You needed Batel to become infected
you needed to get
with
the plant. You needed a Chimera plant. But I think that Chimera plot line could have been put in with something else, one of the other episodes.
You know what? Not to get ahead, but I don't like how they did Batel.
Why?
I mean, I would have liked to see her stick around.
I think you
know what? Keep your powers. Be a badass, but don't become a statue.
I think she comes back, and you just don't know it yet.
All right, we'll see.
But all right, so episode 4
into the Power Rangers Gorn,
Space Adventure Hour. That was the holodeck one with Lon.
That's a throwaway.
That was a throwaway. That was nothing. No purpose. Nothing was significant other than it was a tie-in to Doctor Who, which they fulfilled elsewhere. Yeah. Actually, it was the second one because the first one was in Wedding Bell Blues, episode 2. The second one was in episode 4. Episode 5, which is Through the Lens of Time.
What's that one?
Chevelle and Kirby.
Oh, that's the prison. They find the prison, right?
Yes, that's the prison. You need that one.
Yeah.
Episode 6 was the Sealet who ate its tail.
That was the one with the scavenger ship. That had the.
See, there you go, right there. Those scavenger ships definitely could be an audio drama. I would listen to that.
The problem is, in my mind, I have a hard time believing these scavenger ships are even possible. You're talking about a ship that launched in the late 2000s.
Buck Rogers, man.
How the hell does it take over? I don't see how they defeat anybody. How do they become this all-powerful ship with a monster face that the Enterprise can't even stop?
Because they are the original Borg.
They ain't no Borg.
No, I'm not saying they basically scavenge. They met lower race people. They scavenged what they had, technology and knowledge, They added to their ships, and they just kept doing that over and over and over again, scraping together, scrapping together their ships,
by the way,
repopulating themselves on the edge of the galaxy where none of Starfleet was going.
It seems like there's so many alien life out there, and here we're sitting down and not one yet.
I mean, look at Enterprise thankful. And the.
Well, be thankful.
And the, unless they're here
because
already,
if an alien life comes now, we cannot stop them.
No, we can't even live with ourselves.
PVG. For those that don't know, PVG is not native, even though he may look it from a distance and with blurry vision on this sometimes. But if we are the Indians, we're the Native Americans. If an alien invaded, we're the Native Americans. How did that work out for the Native Americans?
No, not good at all.
Going forward, we'll call you Pocahontas.
No, let's not. No.
All right, so back to Star Trek.
Maybe Tonto, but not Pocahontas.
The Sela who ate its tail. That's Kirk's first mission with the Scavengers, which would be an awesome podcast show about the Scavengers. Then what is Starfleet? Pointless.
Dumb.
Other than possibly showing that Section 31 runs everything. But that's my own controversial thoughts on it. That episode really didn't give in much. I didn't see it was a filler. Episode 8, 4.5 Vulcans. Again, another filler. Not really required. We didn't really learn much about it. Nothing really at all.
Filler.
Episode 9, Terrarium. This was a good episode, even though it was very much like Enemy Mine with Louis Gossett Jr. and Dennis Quaid. For you youngins, go look it up. Go find a Blockbuster. I'm sure you could
there ain't no youngins. There ain't no youngins watching us.
There's no Blockbuster.
No one under like 45 watching us.
It did show. It gave me hints of Picard and Q about the trial. It gave hints of that.
Karen's gonna get Chief Scott going. They're gonna have a whole conversation in metaphors.
I think that definitely was a I think that was kind of a required episode, especially with the Gorn.
JC Onset in the chat.
And this is why I think my theory is about the Gorn. I'll tell you that again if you want. New life, new civilizations. This definitely proves my theory in my own eyes that the VJ, what were they called? The life forms that took Gamble's eyeballs.
Vesda,
yes. They are Paul Wraith. Okay. Because Vespa, and I think I posted, I didn't get a chance to post it last week. I Googled it, and the name even reflects Paul Wraith. And the fact is, that's why I say that I think Batel comes back, is because this was their original prison planet. Why I think the Gorn are not evil, and this is just what we make it out to be. And this is why we needed episode 9, is to show that we could get along, because in the future, the Gorn are part of Starfleet.
Thanks for those hearts in the chat.
The Gorn are biologically, they were our weapons. They were the original augments against the Paul Wraith. They could fight the Paul Wraith. And because their feral mindset allowed them to do that and not be taken over, the Paul Wraith or the Vespa couldn't take them over like they did with Gamble. That's why Batel, with her mixed DNA, was able to whoop, and why she can hold them in check. And guess what happens? When she takes them over and they do the bat wide shot, they're all caves. Like in DS9, they're the fire caves where the Paul Wraith reside at. So I think Batel may be one of the early prophets, or be, made into a prophet later on, because she's the one holding him in check. But whether or not they expand on that or not, I doubt they will, because there's going to be some pencil pusher who's not a fan, who didn't see that connection, is going to be like, oh, let's make a puppet singing episode this time.
A puppet and a musical puppet episode.
All
boy, that's
one.
a
Yep,
that's a twofer.
All at once.
Beady beep boop boo doo doo.
Kapla to that.
All right, that was my rant. I'll shut up now with the rest of the podcast.
What did you think about season 3?
It was good. It was okay.
Moving on. No,
it was good. It was I think it's leading up to Kirk. There was more Kirk involved.
You know, speaking of Kirk, there was there was another guy who posted a video about why the hell is the Farragut the only ship that's ever in the neighborhood?
I thought of that too. And
why does it always have to be the Farragut?
There's a Starfleet technical manual out there by I think his name is Joseph Franz.
Yeah.
And back at that time, I think there were only 12 ships, Constitution class, and each of them have a sector to patrol. And I think the Farragut was closest to Enterprise.
That wasn't a Constitution class, though.
Yeah, it was.
The Farragut?
Oh, no, it wasn't. Huh.
My question is this. If they're supposed to be on a 5-year mission, why are they so close to Earth?
Right, yeah.
Earth?
Yeah, why Enterprise is supposed to be on a 5-year mission.
What it blows
why are they
there?
so close to Earth still?
That's right.
What do you want a mission for?
Farragut
That's like going on
wasn't
a mission in your
Constitution
neighborhood.
All right. We're gonna jump into our homework of what we watched this week, but first, episode
PVG.
33. Can you believe it? Episode 33. That's just
Come so far
in so little time.
Who knew?
Nanu. Let's do some quotes real quick. We'll get these slides out of the way, and then we'll go back to homework. All right. Clean out your ears. Here we go.
Trapped on a barren planet, and you're stuck with the only Indian in the universe who can't start a fire by rubbing 2 sticks together. I was never good at this as a child, and I'm still not good at it.
Chakotay.
Yeah, big time.
I know, that's too obvious.
Chokotay.
Pocahontas.
Tonto.
Damn.
Oh, wait a minute.
Trapped on a barren...
Page down.
Trapped on a barren planet, and you're stuck with the only Indian in the universe who can't start a fire by rubbing 2 sticks together.
Oh, man, he's angry, too. Frustrated. Okay, well.
I've often wondered this one thing, and it sounds crazy. Why don't they make a little survival kit inside the comm badges that have like a little fire starter and maybe some fishing line, basic little stuff.
And caller ID.
Yeah.
And a mute button.
And a mute
button.
All right, here we go. Ready?
You may very well be putting those nipples to work before you know it.
But she didn't say titties.
I gave you guys the hint. Dang it, I should have kept it on the same
I couldn't
side.
see it. Wait. That's what's his face to Trip?
I messed up.
Phlox. That's Phlox. Talking to Trip. Because he got pregnant.
Postnatal responsibilities?
You may very well be putting those nipples to work before you know it.
I didn't even see it because I got a fucking hair in my eye.
Trivia. This week's trivia. The subject matter is number ones. Should be easy, actually.
One.
Una Chin Riley. Una Chin. Will Riker. Who was the first officer of the USS Voyager during its initial mission to the Badlands?
Cavett.
First officer. Ayala. I know it wasn't Chakotay.
How do you know? He's an Indian.
He can't start a fire.
Oh, yeah,
he didn't start the fire.
It was only his people.
We just got copyrighted because of my singing.
IB says Cavett.
All right, then. Once IB answers, then we move on.
We know.
Cavett served as Janeway's first officer before being killed in the Caretaker's array.
Told you.
Under Captain Archer, who served as first officer. This is for the noobs out there.
Tipple.
That was too easy. Who was Captain Sisko's first officer on Deep Space Nine after its transition? After the transition, though.
What?
You still going with B?
I'm going with B.
Going B because why would that don't make no sense?
B.
Oh, but Bajoran militia.
You're like after motherfucker. Why would he be there if it wasn't?
I was just trying to plant a seed of doubt.
Yeah, that seed failed.
Who was the first officer aboard the USS Kelvin?
What the fuck? Oh my god! Yeah.
That was like some Daffy Duck stuff.
Jeez.
Porky Pig. First officer,
right,
USS Kelvin.
I know it is. George.
You going George?
I'm going George.
But didn't wasn't George not the first officer until the other first officer got killed?
I think it was the first officer.
Richard Rabot.
Seed of doubt. Seed of doubt.
I wasn't a seed of doubt. He already gave an answer. I had to give a conflicting one.
The misdirection.
The hair that went in Magic's eye is now in my eye.
Who became the first officer of the USS Excelsior under Captain Sulu?
Janice Rand.
C.
Sulu Jr.
Hey, yeah.
I just watched that scene.
Sulu Jr. was in a napkin.
Damn. But at least he didn't say it was in the cup that Tuvok gave him.
Wow.
Janice Rand. Who served as first officer on the USS Shenzhou before transferring to the Enterprise?
Burnham.
What are you going with?
Saru.
Burnham. I think this is wrong, though. She didn't transfer to the Enterprise. She transferred to Discovery. ChatGPT fail. Let's cross that question off. Who was the first officer of the USS Stargazer under Picard?
Wait. Hold on.
You fact-checking the previous one?
I think she went to Enterprise and then Pike brought her from Enterprise to Discovery.
Karen
and then she stayed on Discovery.
IB says it's wrong.
I think so.
Okay.
No, I think
I thought Pike brought her over.
But they were already on Discovery by the time Pike got involved. Right? Because the Shenzhou gets destroyed within like the first 2 episodes, I thought. And then Discovery comes along. Because remember, Burnham gets arrested for mutiny. And then she's being transported. That was the Section 31 plot, I think.
Oh, no. I need to go back
no. That
Discovery.
was the captain. Who was the captain? What was his name? The one from the alternate?
Can't think of that guy. Oh, man.
From the Terran universe?
Ikara.
No. Damn, what was his name? Okay. This one, are we going Jack Crusher on this one?
I know Catherine Card. What?
Yeah, it's not C. It's not B. It's got to be A.
Wesley's father.
Wesley's Jack Crusher
Faja.
Senior, I guess.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, you need to put the senior in there. So this one is wrong as well.
Lorca.
Yes.
That's it.
Oh, end of document.
Lorca.
That was quick. You can tell I didn't put a lot of time into that.
No, because you didn't put junior or senior.
Well, I'm relying on ChatGPT, unfortunately. All right. Homework. PVG wanted to go first and talk about his homework. He watched an episode.
Just one. I was busy. I'm always busy. It was Killing Games.
Is that Star Trek?
Yeah, Star Trek.
Isn't that a movie?
Star Trek Voyager.
Were the chicks a dude?
Yes.
What?
Oh, no, he's thinking of the Crying Game.
Oh, my bad.
No, it was Killing Games. Oh, gosh, what was the name of the enemy? Hydrural.
No.
Promotion?
What was that?
Hirigen?
Erogen.
Get out of here. Species 8472?
Erogen. So,
here we go.
Erogen takes over the Voyager, and they get the crew, and they kind of brainwash them. They put them in different holodeck simulations.
Oh, yes, I recall that one.
And they are learning from them how to hunt different ways. So, and then that was it. Oh, and then oh my gosh, what the doctor,
EMH,
and what's his name? I tell you what, don't get old and
Tom Paris.
No,
Chakotay,
the Chinese dude,
Pocahontas.
Yeah, Pocahontas. Ensign Kim. And the doctor gets together.
People sometimes, man.
Ensign Kim and the doctor start to figure stuff out, and they're able to release Janeway and 7 of 9 from their implant. You know, that's letting them think that there's somebody else.
Okay,
And that was it. And and looking at that episode, just I didn't see the second part. I can't believe that Ensign Kim is still an ensign after that episode. I think, are you serious? He just pretty much saved.
It's because I don't think that you can promote someone who's not from this universe. I thought about that, and I still haven't researched it. Maybe IB or Karen. Is that the reason why Kim has never been promoted? Is because he's not the real Ensign Kim from the original universe that everyone else is from?
No,
because of that whole timeline split? I think it's just
because of his confidence level. He just didn't put on the face of a leader.
I mean, he was always talking about wanting to go home, and he was young, but
yeah.
I mean,
he should have
all the shit that he did.
Yeah,
man. You put Kirk in there, and Kirk.
That could be an audio book. Kim getting caught gooning or something. I don't know. No promotion for you. All right.
Lazy writing.
I watched 6 episodes of DS9. I tried to come up with a question to ask for most of these episodes. Not all of them. But I do have a question that's unrelated to any of the episodes, which is, why aren't there more starships painted black?
Does it matter?
I mean, wouldn't it?
It'd be better camouflage.
be better camouflage, but
Why?
I guess sensors. But
why?
Isn't
Your
there
sensors
some?
pick you up.
Yeah, isn't there some kind
I
of?
mean, yeah, exactly. It doesn't
like-
matter.
Like we have paint. Is it the paint that deflects? I don't radar. I guess sensors are more
No.
sophisticated.
You have resistant paint that resists like heat, that allow it to be cold for like heat-seeking missiles.
Yeah.
It helps refrain from that. But painting a ship that is being detected by, like, one of the biggest things is, and I remember asking this when I was a kid, and my dad explained it to me because I didn't get it as a kid. I was like, how come there's no bugs that hit the windshield of the Enterprise? Like, no one ever has to go clean the windshield. My dad's like, that's not a windshield. That's just a big monitor. It's a big TV. So your ship is never picked up by visual, except when the sensors are down.
Well, what about the camera though? Who's cleaning the camera?
You're again. Well, that's sort of the bugs. There's no bugs in space like
Okay.
that.
Space
But what I'm
bugs.
saying is that why would you need to? Why would you need to paint? There's no reason to paint and waste the time painting and the materials painting when you're not being detected visually. You're being detected by sensors.
Yeah, you're being detected by sensors when you're not in a wartime situation. But if you're in a battle where you might have
You're in a battle
little,
once you're locked in,
you might have little ships flying around shooting at you. If you were painted black, maybe you're less visible.
What are you looking out of?
Well, like if you're in the Delta Flyer, you're looking out of a window.
But the Delta Flyer is a shuttle.
Yeah, but it's
battle.
got phasers and torpedoes.
Neither is
What about
the
those little
Defiant.
Gorn ships? They've got windows.
Those are the Gorn.
No,
What
but
I'm
I'm
saying is
saying
this.
when your enemies are looking at the window shooting at you, wouldn't it be nice if you were camouflaged?
What I'm saying is this: when your enemy is looking at you and shooting you, they have a sensor lock on you. No one's looking out the window. No one's visually inspecting you like you're flying an F-15.
I think some people are looking out the window.
I think if
You
you had
are
a
if
good
you're in a
cloaking
shuttle.
device, it really wouldn't matter.
Sulabans were looking out the window.
You have a good cloaking
No, they
device,
weren't.
it wouldn't matter. So you can have a really nice paint job when you come into space dock.
Because so that was the other reason why I said I wonder that is, I'm like, why can't they see the refraction of the stars that we could see on the screen? And it's because they're looking at a monitor. They're not looking out a window and seeing that natural reflection of their
But the monitor is still shown from the view of a camera.
the monitor is showing as if it is a windscreen, because humans are used to looking at a windscreen like that. But it's not going to be able to pick up just like when you look at your TV right now, or at this monitor, you don't see the lines of the RGBs going across your screen. But if you point a camera at it, you can. Just like the sensors can't pick up the reflection or refraction of a cloaked vessel, but the human eye can.
Yeah, see,
So no painting
there could be
painting
special
a camera
paint.
black, or painting a ship black is just a waste of time and resources.
I don't know.
Most starships that get into battles are not going to have a window to look out of.
And what about when you go to a prime directive
wash?
planet? They don't have sensors. You might need to fly through their atmosphere for some reason. At nighttime, they wouldn't be able to see you.
You shouldn't be flying through non-warp travel places to
Well,
begin with.
maybe you need
That's
to
what
go
they're gonna
grab
tell
some
you.
dilithium from one of their minefields.
They're going to tell you shouldn't be flying through there to begin with.
All right.
Find another way.
Okay.
Roads closed. Find another way, pizza boy.
Pizza boy.
Let me burn through these episodes real quick. Season 4, episode 21, The Muse. Loxana's pregnant. The father is a Tavnian, and
I just
boys
watched that one.
boys get custody. Boys always go to the father's custody, and they're not even made aware of women until they're 16. So Odo marries her, so that she can keep the baby.
Yep.
So technically, Odo and Loxana are married. Did they annul it?
Obviously, you didn't watch the entire episode.
No, I did watch it. They didn't annul
They're
it.
not married. Didn't count.
Oh, it didn't. It was It was like they had their fingers crossed or something.
No, that's why I said you didn't watch the whole episode. Watch the whole episode. It explains why it doesn't count.
Well, I did watch the whole episode. I thought it counted.
No, they say it doesn't count at the end.
Oh.
It's like, you got to be believable.
No, he did believe him.
Enough.
He believed him. You didn't watch the whole episode.
Not
the dude believed him. No, the dude believed him. Oh, you need to rewatch that one. That's why the guy left. He left. The Tabney and her husband left and said, because Odo went into this whole story about how Loxana
was, yes, because Odo was telling the truth and Odo was letting it go. Loxana was like, no. That's why it didn't count.
It counted.
Loxana was literally, I appreciate everything you've done, but you're just not my kind of guy.
Well, she went off to go be back on Beta Z or something.
Yeah, they're not married.
Maybe when
I wondered that too until the end. I'm like, oh.
All right. The alternate storyline of that episode was Jake meets a woman who gives him creative ability, but she sucks the life out of his brain at the same time.
Don't they all do that?
I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
So like, hey, Jake, so this
I see what you did there.
This girl, I guess she finds all these creative people throughout the galaxy, and she sucks the life out of them. But what I thought was strange, at the end, when Cisco rescues Jake, he's about to die. Cisco rescues him, and she goes non-corporeal and just vanishes through the walls and into space. So what kind of being is she? She's must be some kind of very powerful person who can just travel through space non-corporeal.
Who else do we recently know that could do that?
Who? Yes, it is called the Muse, by the way.
Rhymes with Bamble or Samble.
Tamble.
Oh, her name was Anaya. Onaya.
Yes, but she gave very much Ha Wraith vibes.
You like those vibes, don't you?
Not necessarily.
DS9 Season 4 Episode 22 is called For the Cause. Cassidy Yates is a Maquis smuggler.
Oh, yeah. Man.
Kind of a throwaway episode.
It was. But I'm like, seriously? Like, she got a slap on the wrist.
Well, that's how it is when you're friends. When you're
banging the captain.
When you're bumping uglies with the cap.
Yeah,
this thing is drying out my throat bad. I don't even have any other notes other than Cassidy's caught smuggling medical supplies to the Maquis. But the chief of security, not the chief of security, but the security guy from the Federation reveals his true colors that he's Maquis.
Yes, and so this is what led me to wonder when Voyager comes through DS9. And I don't know if this is before or after.
Oh, right.
Because that's why I was saying, how did she just get a slap on the wrist? Because if this is after Voyager...
Eddington. Yep.
Yes. He always gave weird, creepy vibes.
He was creepy.
Gave Section 31
He gave bad guy vibe from day one.
If this is after Voyager, how did she just get a slap on the wrist? Like, what the fuck, over?
Yeah. Well, again, bumping uglies. But they did take her away at the end.
She got like 3 months.
Okay.
Of light labor.
Well, maybe she thought she was doing good.
Oh no, I did watch this last one. I thought I didn't, but yeah, Broken Link, where Odo gets the disease, catches the herpes gynellus.
Wait, we're not to Broken Link yet.
I mean, yeah, you're right. After
number 23 is called To the Death. When there's a Jem'Hadar assault on DS9, the Defiant goes after him. They find a different Jem'Hadar ship with Wei Yun on it that had just been attacked by the Jem'Hadar who are kind of like rebelling. And it turns out these other Jem'Hadar have discovered an Iconian portal, a gateway. And so they have to destroy it. And so the Jem'Hadar with Wei Yun team up with Cisco to destroy this Iconian gateway portal. And anything.
I remember that one now.
Yeah. So, and then the next episode, season 4, episode 24, is called The Quickening. That's the one where these people get these lines on their faces and then they die because the Dominion have given them some kind of disease. And Julian gets obsessed with trying to find a cure, but he can't. And he just starts going crazy.
Yes.
But at the very end, because he had really bonded with this girl that was helping him and she was pregnant, his final attempt to make a cure actually saves the baby. And so that was kind of the positive spin of that episode, where he couldn't figure out a cure to save the people who already had it, but any babies that were born with the vaccine, they would not have the blight or whatever they called it. The blight.
Thanks for that, IB. IB said there was an episode of Next Gen where Picard says the Federation doesn't limit medical supplies, probably why Cassidy got off lightly.
Yeah.
That makes more sense now.
Yeah. The whole thing with the Maquis is kind of weird. It's almost like, is the Maquis really just a Section 31 project?
I mean, it's possible, but I think at the same time, it was the writers trying to equate. We need something that is very close. That's like Al Qaeda.
Yeah. But even Eddington gives off Section 31 vibes.
Yes. Or people that got rejected from Section 31 being like, we don't need Joe's section. We're going to be Section 27. I don't know.
I got a trivia.
Okay.
Who is Kukulaka? Chat, who's Kukulaka? I'll give you a hint. It's in the DS9 series.
Oh, so it's not from Montego, Montoya?
No, it's
Baby,
from
why don't we
DS9.
go to Bermuda, Bahama? Come on, pretty mama. Key Largo, Montego.
Julian had a teddy bear named Kukulaka. He talked about it. He talked about it when he was trying to comfort one of the people that had the quickening disease. All right, one more trivia question. Well, no, I might have another one. Who is Moogie?
Pork and Rom's mom.
That's right.
I hate that. I hate it when he Moogie fucking such a shit out.
And then, yep. And now get your books, get your Rules of Acquisition book out. What is Rules of Acquisition number 239? Take a guess. Never be afraid to mislabel a product. All right. The next episode I watched was Broken Link, the final episode of season 4, which is the one where Odo gets sick and he has to return back to the Great Link for the cure. But really, it's just a trick. They wanted to bring him back. They say they wanted to bring him back so that they could give him judgment for hurting another changeling. But really what they wanted to do was plant the image of Gowron in his head. that Gowron was a changeling. That was their real motive.
But isn't Gowron a changeling?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, so Broken Link, when Odo gets sick, they go back and I forgot what my point was going to be. But the next episode is yeah, so they plant the seed that one of the interesting things I thought was Worf catches Garrick trying to launch torpedoes at the planet because he's like, dude, we could end the Dominion right now. And Worf says, no, we're not here to do that. I think Garrick was right. Worf should have just turned, walked away, and let Garrick fire those quantum torpedoes. But Worf says, it's going to kill Sisko and Odo.
He couldn't because Worf already got Sisko already got in his ass about his Klingon ways. And that he's not Klingon. I mean, he's Klingon, but he doesn't work for the Klingon Empire, and that's not how the Federation works. He'd already gotten in his ass about that. So he's on his P's and Q's about why they don't do that and that he can't do it. But yes, if Garrick Haddon wants it, you could have saved a whole lot of people some strife.
Yeah, the Dominion War, that was a lot of lives lost.
But, we had to learn from it. What is this? Spoiler alert, Section 1 planted something in return in that episode.
Oh, yes. They did. We know what that is. Spoiler alert.
What did they plant?
Disease. The final episode I watched where I wrapped up today was episode 1 of season 5 called Apocalypse Rising.
I have not watched that. You are now officially ahead of me.
Now let me give you a trivia question from that episode. What is the name of Gowron's personal security force? 2 names are allowed for this answer.
The Bok Choy.
The Kapla.
What's wrong with Bok Choy?
I'll give you the Klingon name. The Jan Isleth. Now, like what's the translation of that? Dax says it. Jadzia. It's called the Brotherhood of the Sword. Aha! Okay, so in that episode, real quick, spoiler alert.
Such a nerd.
Spoiler alert. They plant this image in Odo's head. Oh, and by the way, what I was going to say earlier that I totally spaced on was they made Odo a human. They took away his changeling abilities. So they plant this image in Odo's mind before he lost his link that Gowron was a changeling. So his information sends Sisko, Worf, Miles. They go into they lure Gul Dukat because they need to get deep into Klingon space. So they know Gul Dukat has a bird of prey. So I guess Kira says, "Hey, there's something wrong with your daughter." So Gul Dukat comes and they're like, "Oh, just kidding. We need your ship."
Damn.
And so they take Gul Dukat's ship. He drops them off deep in Klingon space at their little base of operations. Martok ends up being the changeling. But Gowron and Worf are going at it. They're battling, and Worf's about to beat him when Martok steps in and says something. I forgot what he said, but Odo says
that was Worf personal.
Oh yeah, because Gowron doesn't like Worf.
Worf doesn't like Gowron.
Well, no, I know, I don't think Worf hates Gowron as much as Gowron hates Worf, though. I think Gowron sees Worf as a traitor.
Gowron's the one that took all of his family shit,
right?
And told the whole lie.
Yeah, because he sees Worf as a traitor.
No, what I'm saying is Gowron and his family are the ones that told the initial lie about Worf's dad.
Oh, right.
That started the whole thing. So Worf is always going to have that resentment. Gowron doesn't like Worf because he sees him as a threat, because Worf could be like, hey, if it ever gets out, right now it's a he said, she said, or it's his word versus mine, but he's doing all this other shit. He's about to get more influence over people than I have. So I need to find a way to kill this dude.
Right.
I definitely, I mean, that would be a good story as well. The Kenmore Accords audio drama that tells a story of that. I think Karen had mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, no, that would be good. I mean, I think at this point, now that we know that they can actually do a decent job of these audio stories, I'm
going to say that's their homework.
What homework?
I'm going to say that's this week's homework. PVG, are you paying attention?
Yes.
Or are you too drunk? Because you haven't said a whole lot.
No, I got to go pee.
Okay,
go ahead.
Here's the homework. Come up with three show ideas that for an audio drama, kind of like how Khan is, that we have not seen or heard of. So you can't be like, oh, well, I want a Voyager one. We already have Voyager as a show. So unless you're going to do something completely different
Voyager
about a story
decks.
that Voyager never covered, yeah, come up with a show topic.
A Phlox
for an audio
book.
Okay.
Think you can do that?
How Phlox became a chef.
No. Yeah, I can do that.
Not 2, but 3.
3.
In addition to watching your one episode of Star Trek this week, I mean, that could give you ideas. So you never know.
Yeah. Yeah. See, even IB, I feel like Worf actually likes Gowron, like respects him, but it's Gowron that doesn't like Worf.
I don't know. I always want to see Gowron just get fucked up by Worf.
I mean, he pretty much does get a beat down, but he doesn't get killed because they get stopped.
No, I want the beat down where they're having to pull him off. You're like,
Gowron seems like a little man though.
Exactly.
Like a Danny DeVito of Klingons.
He feels
that's why you need to see him get his ass whooped.
Yeah.
He feels that Worf is a traitor to Klingons.
Yeah, because he's all. Well, it's because when they went to war with Cardassia, Gowron said, "Join us, Worf. Join your people." And Worf said, "No, I got my duties here on Starfleet." And they were like, "You're dishonored."
In addition to the fact that your father sold us out and all this other shit.
Yeah, Moogie. Moogie did it. Oh, all right.
What's your next thing?
That was it. That's all I watched.
Okay.
Yeah, we're about to wrap.
I watched.
Oh, what did you watch?
I didn't watch anything Star Trek, but I listened to the other the last episode of Khan.
Okay, well,
and
that counts.
I watched some other movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, one was about motorcycle racing. I watched a documentary about the Cannonball Run.
The real Cannonball Run with like Goldberg or something?
Huh?
With Goldberg?
No.
No, I mean there are celebrities that participate in this real Cannonball Run.
All right, so that's called the Gumball Run.
Okay.
That's not the real Cannonball Run.
Gumball Rally.
Okay.
Yeah, that's they don't do that anymore either because it got too big and too many celebrities and people were telling them, and especially here in Arizona, people would be like, "Yeah, the Gumball Rally is coming through North Scottsdale," and they would literally have like events set up in Scottsdale for them to stop at, and then you got all these Lamborghinis and shit like that, and people are still going to haul ass, but they're not trying to beat the original Gumball record. They're showing up to show out.
Yeah.
So yeah, the guy that finally beat the record of 32 hours and X amount of minutes, he was the last real one that held for a really long time that no one was able to beat. And then a couple of more people did it after him. And then I was like, all right, it was one of those, this is what's up next. And it was the Cannonball Run scooter. And I was like, what? These dudes this year, I guess the year that they were filming, was the first year they took 50 cc's, 190s, and 250 scooters. And they ran them from Alaska. Was it Alaska? No, it couldn't have been Alaska. They ran it from west to east along the northern half of the U.S. in scooters.
Damn.
Like the little scooters. And I was like, oh, this will be funny. I'll watch it for a few moments. And they did it over the course of 10 days. And I got sucked in and I ended up watching the entire fucking thing.
Were they modified scooters?
Not really. Some people modified them by adding like bigger wheels, adding obviously like space to carry gear and whatnot, but they weren't like souped up or anything like that. They had different categories, and it was a time trial. It wasn't one of those like we're racing race because it's a scooter. Like at one point, like a bunch of them that were going up this mountain pass maxed out at like 9 to 10 miles an hour. Yet somehow a couple of them managed to get speeding tickets. Like none of them would get like 60 miles an hour or anything like that, or 75. So they got speeding tickets in town, like doing 50 and a 35. Like, I'm just like, what the fuck? So I watched those and I listened to some podcasts. I listened to the Con podcast. I looked for a couple more to see if there were any other Star Trek podcasts that were like that. There are some fan-based audio stories, but they didn't have the production level that Wolf 359 had. Then I listened to one of those episodes, just kind of a throwback to when I was listening to them on a regular basis. That was pretty much it, really. That's pretty much all I did. I had plans of redoing my entire studio, but I only got half of it done due to work.
Okay.
Oh, I remember I was going to ask you, and maybe I'll talk about this offline, but all the gear, realizing that I have so much gear here, I could probably set up another studio setup, like single desk studio setup. But then I was like, there's no reason for me to do that.
You need a she shed.
No, I mean, I just have I have all these different arms. Like I went through 4 microphones till I settle on the road, but I still have the old microphones.
Right.
I still have, I think, a mixing board. I have light stand, and still I settled on the what are these? Not Govee lights. Shit. I forgot what the brand is that we have. But yeah, I have 2 of those that I'm using right now. I have 2 more in the box. Actually, I have 4 more in the box. I have a whole nother thing of Govee lights, like my stick lights. And that's what led me to, I need to break this entire thing down because I have this light system that's now halfway in. As you notice, this is my last board that's up. My other one fell earlier this week. So I'm like, I should really redo the studio so it looks a little better.
You need some double-sided tape.
So
let's get a GoFundMe going.
I have plastic holders. That's a corner brace and it has double-sided tape on it. But at the same time, I also want to mount lights behind it so it lights up a little bit. But I also just need to make room and get rid of some of these things. So I got rid of a lot of stuff this weekend. That was really hard to do. Because I had a whole bunch of scissor arms. I still have 4 left. But I threw away probably 6 scissor arms. And adapters and ball mounts for cameras. I'm just like, I'm not going to use it. I only have one real camera, which is my Canon. I have my other cameras, and I have my cell phone, and I have mounts for those, but I'm not using any of those stuff. So,
can you sell it on Facebook Marketplace or something?
I'm not selling shit to any of these people here. If this
dangerous.
were Arizona, I would totally do that. Here,
gotcha. Yeah.
Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah.
I was outside the night that I was loading up my car, and I had the garage door open, and I caught some chick wearing a sundress. Mind you, it was raining. It started raining in the middle of the morning. So, and she's walking down the street, and she's looking in people's recycle bins. Like, and I had a bunch of Amazon boxes in there, and I'm like, what the hell? And then she starts to walk up my driveway, and I'm sitting there on my phone, and I'm parked in the garage. I'm just letting the cool air come in because I'm very hot and sweaty because I've disassembled half this room. And she just stands there like, bitch, I know you were about to just walk in my garage and rustle through here to see what, try and take some shit. And so I literally was like, I can't say it because it'll hear me. I was like, Big Ears, arm the alarm system.
It's California living.
I was like, man, I would not have this problem in Arizona because I would just, I would just be like, Big Ears, turn on this light where I was standing under, and no, you would see nothing but my G19, and it's 17 plus friends.
Right.
But yeah, I can't do anything like that here. So no, I basically figured, and I thought about it. I was like, man, I remember talking about this back in the day, sending in extra gear to Cremo or anyone else, but Cremo's not doing it. And then I thought, well, maybe Infinity, and I'm like, Infinity wouldn't use my shit. He's doing his own thing. So I was like, I have no purpose for these scissor arms.
Yeah, scissor arms are kind of trash because they're too cheap anyway. Like the money you would pay to ship it to somebody, they could buy it cheaper on Amazon directly.
Right. So I got rid of that stuff. And then I'm going through this, I think the next 3-day weekend, I'm going to go through, and this is going to be the hard part. Tom knows this. We talked about my spending like at Prize Electronics before.
Mm-hmm.
I still have a shoebox of hard drives. They're perfectly good hard drives.
Of course.
A lot of them are matched for a RAID system. And I'm just going to have to take the concrete or the diamond bit drill and just kiss them goodbye because I'm not really going to put them in anything ever again.
F-Disk.
No, I'm putting a drill
Debug.
bit. I know how to recover stuff. I have apps on thumb drives and whatnot that can pull that image off. So, yeah, I will just run a drill through them and get rid of just stuff that I don't need. Like, I get on my mom about that. I'm like, get rid of this stuff. I'm like, you're going to go get your hair done. You don't need your jacket, your purse, your duffel bag. You're not going on an overnight camping trip. Just bring yourself and your purse. You don't even need a purse anymore. You just need like a little wallet like I have. I have like one of those tiny thin wallets that has your ID and your medical cards. You don't need anything else because you're not going anywhere else.
You could create wall decorations of old hard drives.
So
Karen
I
says,
make one or two. I make it one or two because you can make a speaker out of one. I've heard people make speakers out of them, and someone's made a clock out of them. But
okay,
I don't know if I'll ever do that. And I know she has. There's one more computer out buried out in the shed from way back in the day that I built that may have some stuff on it. That I think was my dad's computer before he passed away. I may try and recover it, see what I get, but outside of that, I got no need for this stuff. Like, kind of like I don't really have a need for speaker wires or my Bago for the DJ system.
Right.
With the RCAs and everything else.
That's called hoarding.
It wasn't hoarding when I actually used it. It was needed.
Right.
Because at one point we needed my RCAs. I think when we had the CD players at one point, one of our wire kits wasn't working and we needed those RCAs or we needed those adapters, from RCA to 1/4 inch to whatever, to make it work. But now, we don't really need that stuff. It's perfectly good. And I hate throwing it away, but
sometimes
if I keep it, then I'm hoarding it.
That's what I'm doing at my house, where my wife and I are purging.
Purge.
We got so much crap.
The purge.
Unbelievable. And there's nothing the matter with it. So.
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest things was I went to go get a cutting board. So what I've been doing recently is I listened to the Star Trek podcast while I was cooking. And I went to go get a dish towel. Like, my mom does not understand the concept of throwing away dish. Not throwing away, but taking your dish towel and being like, okay, it's done. We need a new one. Like, no matter how much you rinse it out with hot scalding water, it's still funky. So I'm the one that throws them out. And I went to get another one thinking that this drawer had all of her dish towels in it. And they're dish drying towels with tags still on them. From factory to you in Sierra Vista.
You just reminded me of one of the main reasons I like the Con podcast is because you don't have to watch a screen.
Right.
You can just walk around with some earbuds on and be doing other things and be catching the full story.
That is so helpful. That's the problem I have.
Yeah.
So I'm sneakingly going through and purging a lot of these things around the house to make room for normal stuff. And I know it's going to seem like I'm doing it to be mean, but it's not. Like, all of her spices need to be put at a level where she can get to it. So putting her spices in a pull-out drawer versus a pantry avoids her trying to stand on her tippy toes, possibly falling into the oven or into the dish rack, versus just reach down and open a drawer. And there's the labels. You don't have to pull and dig behind a bunch of stuff. Everything's laid out there. And if it doesn't fit, something needs to be thrown away. You got some old ass shit. Spices don't, for Black people, spices last forever. In reality, they do not.
Kind of like medicine.
Magic's your good son.
That is the other thing that, man, I injured myself. And I took one of our hydrocodones. Probably about 30 minutes later, I was throwing the hell up in the bathroom. Went back to the bottle. That shit was from 2004. Oh. I was like, why? I'm throwing all this away. You can't do that. That's perfectly good. No, it is not.
Sell it to the children.
20 years old.
Sell it to the school kids.
Oh, wow.
They'll buy it.
I know people that would buy it. I could. If I wanted to make some extra money, I'm sure I could take it out the bottle and just put it in there, because they have little markings that, if you look on your pills that you take, they have either markings or a number. And there's websites that you could type that in, like describe small, oval, it has this number, and it tells you what it is. Like hydrocodone 5 milligram, hydrocodone 20, or hydrocodone 100. And I probably could sell those to some people. They look it up. Yeah, it's hydrocodone. It's official. But that's just 20 years old. I'm not. No. The problem is out here, you can't just dump it in the drain.
Right.
Like, a lot of times people would just grind it up and dump it in the drain, pour it down the sink, flush it in the toilet. Apparently, you can't do that here. So,
plant it and grow a hydrocodone plant.
Nah, I'll probably just grind it up, smash them up as best as possible, throw it in the trash.
I know there's
if somebody finds it, then you're digging through the trash.
There's kits that you can either, I think they give them away to deal with your drugs, unwanted drugs. You mix it in this stuff, and I don't know if you get it from Walgreens or CVS.
That's too much work.
I've heard of that, but here you're supposed to take it to Walgreens and CVS.
Oh,
you take your drugs there, and they dispose of it.
They better give you some store credit.
But I'm not trying to do that, because when I find my motivation to do things like this, are usually between like 10 o'clock at night and 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning. And unlike Arizona, Walgreens is not open here 24 hours a day. So that part kind of sucks.
I
am going to have to catch up on my DS9 though. So Tom doesn't get too far ahead of me.
That's right.
I think I may go back. Do we know what the release schedule is for Con?
I'm not sure of it. We'll have to see. It seemed weird. Like the first 2 episodes came out, and then I feel like 2 days later, like episode 3 was out.
I wish they had like, most other podcasts are like, hey, every Monday, every Thursday, whatever. I mean, if it's once a month, that's going to be a problem.
No, I think it's once a week. But
okay, well, they need to release what day it comes out on.
For sure.
So I can make some plans. If not, I may have to go back and start my rewatch of either Discovery. Or what was the other one that I said I was going to watch?
Voyager.
No, I've done Voyager a bunch of times.
TNG.
TNG is tough.
It's a big commitment.
That is a large commitment. And it takes a while. Lower Decks. I could catch Lower Decks on Paramount Plus. Lower Decks is usually always on. Usually later at night. Around 10-ish Lower Decks come on. So I may do Enterprise.
Okay. Well, I want to do Lower Decks. I need to do Lower Decks because that'll be a first watch for me. Everything else is a rewatch.
Okay, I will do Lower Decks with you. Wait, watch 70s Trek. It's a great podcast.
Okay.
We tried that. We were watching the original.
No. I don't think he's talking about the animated series. It's a different
one. Watch 70s Trek. Is that a podcast called 70s Trek?
Okay. Con comes out weekly, comes out on Mondays, and the last one is November the 3rd.
Oh, wow. Okay. So we got like another month. Like 5 more episodes.
So, IB, if you can, is 70s Trek the name of the podcast? Or do I have to actually do my own Google searching?
Use the internet. No, we got to wrap though because I gotta go outside for something. PVG's got to go outside for something, and my dinner is waiting for me.
What?
I know my dinner wasn't ready before the show started, so I had to wait for dinner.
Wow.
I know.
Well, I tried looking up 70s Trek, and that's a bicycle company. So I'm looking up 70s Trek podcast.
You know, IB is always coming with facts.
70s Trek is here, let me open the Google page.
There you go. Google.
The Apple page.
All right. Once again, if you have not yet subscribed, we would greatly appreciate it if you subscribe and smash the like button. Go over to our shorts page and catch our buddy crewman Patty over there with factoids and conversation starters. There's probably going to be a video of like assembled quotes, like all the quotes we do on the podcast. I'll probably do like a montage of like 5 quotes per short. And then in the comments, you can just answer. If you've watched our podcast, you'll know the answer. So there you go. Motivation to watch our episodes. Then you'll know the answer to the quotes from the shorts. All that. That's a lot of talking. But all right, we're going to wrap. Say bye, everybody. We will catch you guys next Sunday night right here live. Technically Trek. And we'll talk about
Trek.
Cheers.
Nanu.
That's empty.
Kapla.
Adios.
Oh, we're